What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Dave, bringing you the latest on Celebrity Big Brother, live feeds, and spoilers. All right, so last night Chuck got evicted from the Big Brother house, and in a pretty huge blindside that both Keisha and Omarosa did not see coming at all. So let's talk a little bit about the fallout from that. So Omarosa was really pissed off about it. Keisha wasn't happy about it at all. Keisha was warning against this, saying that she could use Chuck as an ally. But as a result of that, Omarosa wanted to talk to Shannon. Shannon decided, hey, like, why don't we just talk as a group? You could find out from everybody how this blindside went, why the blindside happened, and all that. Omarosa, having none of that, decided she's going to pull Shannon into one of the bedrooms and have a whole conversation with her. And so she spoke to her for about a half hour about how she didn't like what happened. Shannon tried to explain, hey, this is what we had to do. It was the best for the game. We figured we could use James as an ally. Chuck was more of a threat because Chuck actually went for the gift bag, whereas James didn't. So Shannon kept on going on and on about that, and then Shannon dropped the words "my alliance." Omarosa was having none of that, saying, "Okay, so you betrayed me, and you betrayed Keisha." So essentially, Shannon basically broke down, like, more or less. She was kind of like fed up with it. She ended up going back to her alliance, which was Brandy, Ari, Marissa, telling them like what happened. Keisha was talking to them as well. And Keisha went back to Omarosa to try to plan out how they're going to go forward, which was just more of them just, talking bad about Shannon, saying that they want her out of the game. So ultimately, it ended with Omarosa calling Shannon a bitch multiple times, saying, like, you're just mean and all this, and trying to flip it as Shannon is the bad one. So the next bit of information beyond that was with Ross and Metta. So if you've been following along, you know that Metta just wants out. He just wants his escape. He doesn't want to be there. He's done with Big Brother. So a couple of things that are funny with that is that not Ross, Metta was given tapes and DVDs and all that to watch of past seasons Big Brother. Metta straight up said, I threw them out. So no shock there. Ross then had to explain to Metta what happens after you get eliminated is that you go on the jury, and that it's not normal, but this season, um, hey, what's up, Trop 13? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. um, so yeah, so Meta got explained by Ross to like how the show's gonna work, that everyone's gonna get to leave, they're gonna get to go home and watch everything that's going on, and then they get to come back, they'll get to vote like on the finale night for the winner. So Ross essentially secured a jury vote for himself because Meta said that you're the only one I trust. You're the one I'm going to give my vote to if you make it to the final two. So that's good for Ross, but Meta wants in return to get out as soon as possible. Ross is being straight up honest with Meta, and Ross told Meta, "We'll get you out, but the first two people we have to get out either Omarosa or Keisha first. I don't care which one, but one of those two have to go up." So once we get those two out, like once we get one of those two out, we can get you out next, and then we can focus on the other one. So Meta is kind of like okay with that because he understands that Ross has to do that for his game and everybody else, and Ross wasn't against that plan, surprisingly. So the next part of this was that Ross kept on saying that if he wins HOH, even though he likes that plan, they have to beat Meta. Meta has to be beaten for HOH because no matter what happens, Meta is going to target James and Shannon. He said that he's had it with those two. He doesn't really dislike them personally, but he feels kind of disrespected that the two of them aren't trying to vote him out, and they've never been clear that they're going to try to get him out. Because again, Meta's full plan here is just to escape. He doesn't care about anything else about this game, and he just wants out. So that's where things start to become a little tricky because if Meta wins HOH, that's going to ruin their plans. Then Meta would actually stay here another eviction or two longer because Meta doesn't want to go along with this. But he said that Meta doesn't want to go along with it if he wins HOH. So after that, the night pretty much calmed down. they were just kind of like talking about the fallout. Hey, I miss Chuck, this and that. You know, we're gonna move on with Adam, yada yada. So next thing that happened is that live feeds. We told you we were gonna do a video last night, but that didn't happen because the live feeds were down till about 5 a.m. Eastern time. And hey, what's up, Patty? Thanks for tuning in as usual. um, so yeah, so live feeds were down till about 5 a.m. like Eastern time. They came back up, you know, everyone decided like they were going to go to sleep because they just came from doing the HOH competition. But there's a reason why the live feeds were down for so long. We don't know the details yet because live feeds keep cutting out whenever some of the housemates start to get into the details a little bit. But from what I'm seeing on Twitter and a couple of other, like Twitter, a little bit of Reddit here and there too, it's a fact that Omarosa's hospitalized at the moment. We don't know whether or not she's going to be back in the game. The housemates were talking about like whether or not they're going to be, if Omarosa would be back based on whether or not she's in isolation, essentially. Um, no worries, Patty. The live feeds were kept on going in and out like all day anyway. They're still going in and out now, to be honest. Um, so yeah, so basically that's basically the gist of it. So Omarosa is currently in the hospital. They don't know how they're going to move forward. Um, and no, Sam Blackmore, the details of it, from what I'm seeing, the details of why she's in the hospital is they're saying asthma. They're saying that she had like a pretty bad asthma attack during the competition, which Mark even said that this is Omarosa's first competition that she competed in because she sat out in the first one and she wasn't in the veto competition. And yeah, it looks like it's another Christmas scandal essentially, but because of Omarosa not seeming like she's able to compete in competitions, it's still unknown whether or not she's going to be back. Um, I think it was Marissa who was saying that Omarosa doesn't seem like the type of person to just give up and that she'll just be back because of that. And Lonell, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Lonell Donovan. I think it's legit? Yeah, I think it's legit. Omarosa came in to compete. Um, yeah, I mean, Omarosa came in to compete, and you know, I don't think she's faking this just to get further. It would be too ridiculous at the moment. I don't think that's the type of thing that she would do. It would kind of be out of place for a character. And Trop 13, hope Omarosa is good. I'm rooting for her. Well, there's the good news with that. So the HOH competition, Ross won. Ross was told in the DR that Omarosa is at least okay. He wasn't told whether or not she's going to be back or how the game's going to move forward because of that. James kept on saying in the live feeds that it looks like they're not too much is going to happen. Today's going to be like a nap day for them because they were up all night doing the competition. But they're talking that the only thing that might happen today are nominations with possible veto going on tomorrow. But because of Omarosa being in the hospital, it's unknown whether or not Big Brother is going to delay that or um Brad Sweeney, do you think that they will pity Omarosa? And Patty, I want her in the house for drama. I also want her in the house for drama as well. I'm hoping she does come back. And do I think that they will pity her? I don't think so. The reason for that is from what I last saw, it looks like Omarosa's still up. So Marissa was talking about the pecking order with Ari and Brandy, and the two of them, like the three of them, basically said that it's got to be Omarosa or Keisha first. They don't they don't want Metta going just yet. Metta is their planned third, but right now with Ross in power, it's going to be up to him what he wants to do. But it's looking like I would say maybe Keisha would be next, and it would depend on whether or not Omarosa does come back into the house. That's still up in the air at the moment. So yeah, so right now they're saying Metta wants out. Metta actually told James that if he wins HOH, he's going to put up him and Shannon, which is to strike some fear in James and be like, hey, you better vote me out or I'm coming for you. And I believe Shannon was in the room as well, but he told James that numerous times while having breakfast with him. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Like they're just chilling like bros, and he's just like, gonna take you out if you don't vote for me. But it is what it is. But in regards to Omarosa, yeah, no, nobody seems to pity her. They all want her to do better, but it seems like they all have their head straight gameplay wise that they're still gonna take her out. So if she's still in the game, it's possible that she could still be nominated even without physically being in the house. Um, it could be Christmas all over again where she isn't nominated, but then ends up, casting her vote from the hospital. But they said again, it depends on whether or not she's in isolation and that she's around, and no one's spoiling what's going on for her. And it depends on whether or not she wants to and she's physically capable. Because like I said, and what Mark brought up is this is her first competition. If she's already having problems with asthma from the first competition that she's in, then she may not be able to physically compete and physically do Big Brother. And what's worth noting is that she was the last one in the show. She was the cast was originally supposed to be 10. They got 11 because CBS wanted her for drama. They wanted the White House inside story and all that they can get. Smart on their part, but it's also possible that Omarosa wasn't properly screened and didn't have as much of time as everybody else did for physical stuff and whatnot. Patty says Ross knows to get one of those two out, to get Keisha, to pit Omarosa, Shannon against each other as meat shields. Yeah, no, Ross doesn't seem to be stepping away from that plan. James even asked Ross, does this mean we're going to put up Metta now? Because I think James is getting scared that Metta might win an HOH and put the two of them up. Ross flat out told him, no, we're sticking with the plan for the most part. But yeah, no, Ross is definitely targeting the two of them. It just, again, it's whether or not Ross was being honest with Metta, and I think he was, whether it's going to be Keisha or Metta or Omarosa or, Omarosa, Metta, Keisha. The point is to split the two of them up at the moment. However, Ari, Brandy, and Marissa were talking about how they want Omarosa and Keisha out before Metta goes, and they want to keep Metta in to let him win an HOH, so that way he could put up both Shannon and James, and they could get one of those two out. And it looks like even though Marissa is pretty good friends with Shannon, Marissa understands that she's going to have to let Shannon go because Shannon is way too big of a target. She's got way too much blood on her hands, and it's just they're all afraid of her in the end. Yeah, Shannon has no idea how Ross is playing her. That is completely true. Ross is Ross is Ross is freaking brilliant. He's handling Shannon super well, and he's just making sure that he's keeping all the blood off of his hands at the moment. So yeah, I feel so bad for Shannon, but it is what it is. Like Paul and I said yesterday, if you're spelling a 16-letter word, not only did you just win the veto, but you won it in a landslide, just showing off, and that's your second comp. She won 2 out of 2 competitions at that time. Yeah, he's playing an airy-handed Heron game or Steve. Yeah, I totally agree with that. What I like about what Ross is doing is he's not a leader of alliance, but he's got so much power, and he just kind of he's like that guy who he just whispers in your ear and someone acts up on it a little bit, and that's what happened with Shannon, and that's what happened with the flip vote and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see going forward, but I mean, for the live feed update, that's about all that happened now, because things been down for quite a while, so it's just about them just talking about how they're going to move forward and whatnot. Also worth noting is that Metta also said if he wins HOH, he's not going to go after Omarosa. He said it doesn't look like he's going to go after Keisha as well. His only targets are just James and Shannon because he just doesn't want them to win because he seems Patty said Littlefinger. I'm assuming that's somebody. I'm sorry, I don't get the reference, but Game of Thrones. Ah, there we go. I need to catch up on that show. Actually, I need to start that show. I've been saying I'm going to start that show whenever they announce the actual release date and just binge everything at once, but that's a different podcast. um, but yeah, no. Um, Metta basically, yeah, so Meta's not going to target Keisha. He's not going to target Omarosa. He likes the two of them. There's speculation that he's in alliance with them, but Metta has said to Ross, and I would say almost everyone at the house at this point, he is not he's not in any alliance. He's just in it for himself to get out. and he's going to give the vote straight to Ross or whoever else might be in the final two, but just not James or Shannon. But he's rooting for Ross, is what it looks like. So yeah, so again, that's where we are with the live feed updates at the moment. We'll probably try to get you another update like sometime tomorrow or later today with Paul, maybe. We'll see what's going on. We'll see whether or not nominations are going to happen today, if they're going to happen tomorrow or POV. There is an episode tomorrow which should explain what's going on with HOH, and I'm sure it's going to give a bigger update on Omarosa. And then Monday should be another live eviction, from what I'm saying. The housemates were also speculating that the Power veto competition might be live on Monday. We'll see. But right now, it looks like they have a free day. So if you want to check out more on the live feeds, go right ahead. And like I said, we'll be sure to give you an update later on. So, Dave, trust me, each Game of Thrones, you'll love it. I probably will love it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just looking forward to Westworld at the moment. But yeah. What happened to Omarosa Devani Leone? Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Again, Omarosa's hospitalized. From what it looks of it, she had an asthma attack during the newest HOH competition. So whether or not she'll be back is still up in the air. And Patty's telling me, I'm assuming Game of Thrones or just Westworld. My comment. It's so good. I 100% believe that both of those shows are amazing. So yeah. So apparently, I'll check out Game of Thrones at some point. But as for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the bell option so that way you can know when we're going with the live feed updates, which I'm sure a lot of you guys really want. Yeah, and a big shout out to Patty. Thank you for being a supporter. We also have a Patreon for all of you if you want to donate, so we can try and pump out more videos for you guys. All right, so in the meantime, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.